Hey, good evening. We're going to see who joins us and how this works dual streaming again on Facebook Live and on YouTube, Environmental Coffee House. And so far it's looking good from what I can tell. It's a very snowy day. And it is, I just looked at the front and it looked like maybe there was 7 inches. I don't know because I haven't been out. And cheers, I've got my tea. Jennifer's with us. All right, so let's see. Okay. I can see the Facebook stuff and I can see YouTube. This is great because tonight we're going to talk about Mongabay, the publication that talks about rainforests and deforestation and a lot of things in the Asian countries, Thailand. They talk about palm oil plantations. The publisher's name is Rhett Butler, believe it or not. And there is a really great interview with him on Collapse Chronicles, which I will find. And Jennifer, I'll put you on and say, hey, thank you for coming. Jennifer's too sick to be with me. She got my cold from me over the phone. And yes, I am feeling better. A lot of snow. I haven't been out in a while. My husband left. He went to his brother's, so it gave me time to sit around and read and think maybe I would just do this at the spur of the moment and see how it's going. So it seems like I am okay. I'll check out what Facebook looks like. And I really can't tell how many people are with me, but I don't want to be distracted because a lot of times it is distracting. The technology is distracting. So I might just close it, but I do see all of these comments and it's great. So what I want to show you first is I want to talk about this article, this publication, Mongabay. You know, the last live stream I did, I was talking about the logging trucks I see going down the street from the state park up the road. And it's annoying. And you see, and it bothers me, but it also gets me to thinking about the worldwide problems that plague the continents where they grow all the crap that goes into the additives that go into all of our food. Excuse me, I have to make, I know this sounds weird, but I got to make my back brace a little looser. Gashala John's with us. Hello, shalom. I love it. This is great. And CB, Ed Summers, great. I'm so excited. All right, but we're going to do this. And let's see, I'm going to make sure this works right. All right. Now, Mongabay. Mongabay, it's really a pretty cool publication. I learned about Mongabay from Sam Mitchell of Collapse Chronicles. And, all right, I've got to just move a couple of things over here on my screen so I can show you this publication. News and inspiration from nature's front line. So I'll give you a feeling of what they talk about. And we can go from there because I do have something I wanted to read or talk about with you. So some of their news is a national park takes shape in Argentina as the forest disappears. Conflict in Chico Mendes Reserve threatens this pioneering Amazonian project. Rangers in Indonesia's ACEH. Now, I don't know if I can pronounce that. Is it just ACE? To get guns as officials flex on violators. And so 5 murdered in 2020 Brazilian Amazon land conflicts, adding to 2019 surge. So you can see what they specialize in, and they are really top shelf. top shelf, and we do share them on the Facebook page. But you really have to check it out, this publication. 2019, in December, there was the article by Rhett Butler, who is the publisher. And let's see, he's the founder and CEO of Mongabay. He founded Mongabay out of his passion for wildlife and wild places. He has traveled widely in the tropics, and he enjoys photography, hiking, and scuba diving. Well, since I've listened or checked out Mongabay for, I don't know, 2-3 years now, I guess 3 years maybe, it's really a phenomenal publication. And what do you say? Forest Dweller says hi. Mr. Pitbull says hello. Hi. Oh, this is great. I am so happy to see you guys. But I will put up some comments after we go through this, because I do really want to talk about this one article, and then we can chat. So what's on the chopping block? And I don't know if I can. I want to see if I can. I don't know if I can put up comments at the same time I'm looking at this. So this article is by somebody. It's not Rhett Butler, though. It's Bastien Sachet. And there wasn't a lot about him, but I thought that's where I got the cover from, and I will do the attributes in the afterwards. In the, where you write it all up. And there was one thing I wanted to see on this, on my, okay, I see. I had set this whole thing up to see if on YouTube what I wrote would come out, and it didn't, so I have to edit it afterward, because all that came out was Environmental Coffee House. All right, so let's go through this, because this is really good. And, Ecos. Okay, we'll look at you after, I promise. Okay, I've not. Echo of not. He's been lurking. But let's look at this, because this is really good, and it really made me think after I started thinking about my own area, and especially food and diet. And I'm working on changing things. I want to try to do more vegetarian lifestyle. And I'm not a vegan, but I really do think it's time for me to change. But that includes looking at what additives are in food, because palm oil is in everything. You really have to watch. These are the palm oil plantations. So let's talk about this, because this is a commentary, and this guy wrote this, and we'll go through it, and then we can talk. I see Bev said Mongabay is Sam Mitchell's go-to page for news on eco-collapse. Well, yeah, it's a great, phenomenal resource. So this was meant to be a moment of triumph in the long battle to save the world's forests. The year when the bold commitment hundreds of companies made to eliminate deforestation from their supply chains by 2020 was met, when the relentless destruction of forests for agricultural commodities such as palm oil, cocoa, soy, and beef was reversed. Instead, the failure to achieve this goal can be measured by the sharp rise in deforestation since 2014. And forgive me if I fiddle around here. The year the New York Declaration of Forests was signed by governments, corporations, and non-governmental organizations. Since then, the area of forest destroyed each year globally has increased more than 40%. Yet despite the bleak picture and the need to act being more urgent than ever, there's another story to tell about the last decade. It's the story of how the pledge to eliminate deforestation from supply chains by 2020 was doomed to fail. It's also, perhaps surprisingly, about the immense journey some companies, NGOs, and institutions have made in that time, and how the path to remove the stain of deforestation from products we consume is now clearer than ever. This is interesting, isn't it? 2020, an arbitrary date? My audio is distorting. Okay, let me move back a little bit. Somebody said my audio is distorting and I've got to put it back on. Sorry, guys. All right. So 2020, among the reasons 2020 goal was bound to fail is the randomness of the date. And is that still happening? I hope it's not. How do you commit to something without any indication of how long it will take, and without a roadmap to get there? For many companies, pledging to eliminate deforestation from their supply chains was like trying to hack their way through a jungle with a machete. Consequently, only a few of the companies who made no deforestation commitments took concrete steps to implement them, or at least outlined strong action plans to do so. In 2010, just after Nestle became the first food company to commit itself to having no deforestation in the raw materials in its food, drinks, and packaging, I sat down with their lead palm buyer to explore the idea of asking for 100% traceability of the palm oil they use in their products. Pretty interesting, huh? After the meeting, the Nestle supporter said, "What you ask is a nightmare. Palm oil can't be traced because it goes from everywhere to everywhere. But if we have to, we'll try." According to some evidence, just 2% of palm oil companies were able to trace their products back to where it was grown. Another fundamental issue that was yet to be resolved between companies and NGOs was setting on a precise definition of deforestation. All this meant that the path to no deforestation by 2020 still had to be created. Some committed players, however, started to work hard, including buyers, NGOs, and scientists. Companies started to ask their suppliers questions about the prevalence of raw materials, and their suppliers in turn committed to no deforestation. Data started to flow to the extent that now the estimated 3,000 mills around the world where palm oil is processed can all be precisely located. Meanwhile, satellite systems such as Starlink, which is a collaboration between Earthworm and Airbus, as well as other services, began monitoring near real time what was happening around those mills and are now able to supply precise data on whether deforestation is afflicting a particular supply chain. An agreement about what forests to protect, high carbon stock forests, was found and a methodology set up to do so in practice, which led to hundreds of thousands of forests being conserved. But despite these efforts, deforestation continues to increase. And so you can see that. You can see an aerial picture there. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I am. It's a satellite photo of palm oil plantations. It's in so much food, in everything. I don't buy it. I never buy anything with palm oil in it. I can't stand it. So lessons learned. To tackle this, the lessons from the last decade are clear. First, not enough companies came on board to drive change, or did so robustly enough in many cases. Second, while deforestation is still being driven by clearances for industrial expansion, we know from Starlink satellite monitoring of palm oil producing regions that there's a significant trend towards smallholders clearing between 1 to 5 hectares of land and eroding the integrity of critical forest areas. They do this quite simply because they need to eat. Or, as the leader of one of Asia's pulp and paper industry giants succinctly put it to me, deforestation is a poverty issue. The way to address this, and the poverty which underlies it, is not by relying exclusively on the prospective no deforestation approach that's largely prevailed until now, nor is it by sourcing from low-risk regions, as that won't drive the necessary change. Rather, these strategies need to be complemented by working closely with the communities, smallholders, and governments in producer countries. Practically, that means companies engaging with smallholders and supporting them to regenerate their oil palm plantations, increasing smallholders' yields to meet palm oil demand. That's the thing, it's the demand. That's what's nuts. All right, which reduces their need to expand their plantations into forests. This is already happening in Indonesia, where satellite technology is helping with land planning and the government has begun to play a supportive role. It's unquestionably true that smallholders are keen to protect forests so long as they can make a decent living. Oh, look at that. Community members in the Solomon Islands. And the credit for the picture is the Earthworm Foundation. And the Solomons are going underwater, aren't they? Regeneration is the meeting point, more broadly, to end deforestation and human rights violations, including child labor, that's disfigured our supply chains for so long. We must move from an extractive mentality to a regenerative one. Instead of pushing the social and environmental problems onto the most vulnerable people and places on the planet and then blaming them for not solving them, it's time to find common ground. There is now a greater realization than ever among the general population that our planet is changing. Forests are burning, corals are dying, species are disappearing, and so we need to do things differently. Consumers are challenging brands. Investors and pension funds are challenging companies. Children are challenging their parents. Citizens are challenging their governments. They are saying that the story of the next decade must be the last. That's a big oil palm plantation. So I thought that was a really decent article, and I'm really glad that you guys came along with me for that ride for Mongabay, because it's such a really excellent publication. Now, these are things we don't talk about all the time. You know, we don't talk, I'm going to close it all out. We don't talk about supply chain. We don't talk about a lot of these things. And a lot of people don't like to talk about this stuff because it's, you know, it's all capitalism based, but it's what we have. No, I can't move my comments. I'm going to move something on my screen so I can see you guys and I can see what you are talking about. Alrighty. Did you guys like it? And hi, Chris, Natural Progressive, and the Pink Barrios here. Kent. Yeah, here we go. Kent says he hates the game, Kim. Capitalism is why we have these multinationals. And talking about the companies. Oh, Cindy's here with us from Facebook. Hi, Cindy. Cindy was with Environmental Coffee House in the beginning. She's a permaculture specialist. She's an awesome person. I've got to have Cindy back on. We've been talking about it, but I'm never good at follow-up. She's a great friend, Cindy K. Let's see. Cyrus, supply chain management is a great concept for food. Well, I don't know. Let's see what other people were talking about. Okay. All right. Keith says he sees no change in Australia, as well as the fires. The old government is allowing deforestation at an even greater rate. See, it's a sad topic, because the ecosystems that have had to change and the loss of such species diversity because of these plantations. I mean, look at it. It's all the same. It's monoculture. It's really sad. And I don't know if I really see this stuff changing. I don't know. Let's see. Forest Dweller says the hemp will save the world. Crowd would love to see their crop growing just like palm oil. Industrial whores is all they are. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think hemp is going to save the world. I do think it's a superior product, and I would like to see hemp grown more than corn, more than soy, possibly for other things, and hemp used for things. I'm not going to ever say anything's going to save the world, but I always hold out some kind of, positive day to day. Saving the world is a very crazy term. I think we're way beyond any of that. But let's see, Salt and Bev. Hi, Bev. What are you saying? If 100,000 climate scientists stopped flying, all that would happen is 100,000 other people would step up to fill their seats going on holiday. But we can't give up, right? We can't give up. We just can't give up. So I see that there's a lot of you out there. I'm really glad you came. Rudy says, just listen to Paul. He somehow calculated that ice-free Arctic equals 25 years of CO2 emissions at current emitting rate. Basically adding 25 years to IPCC emission curve. Everything is scary, Rudy. It's all scary. And again, I'm not here to be scary or any of it. I'm here to have discussion on this because the deforestation issue to me, it's right in my face. It's happening everywhere, and the rainforest burning. But I mean, we have a sawmill in town. I burn wood in my living room. My wood stove's going. We're going to plant trees, but we will never be able to plant trees that will regenerate what came down in the tornado, But I've talked about that before. Let's see, what is hi, human. Roger Hallam, founder of Extinction Rebellion, calls executives to join and support civil disobedience. Well, they're certainly doing it. In fact, at the end of the month in Tampa, Florida, I believe there's an event Extinction Rebellion is holding there in the United States. Camping. All right, so you guys are talking, and I just wanted to see something quickly. All right, well, I'm not going to be the technician at the same time we're talking. Plant ecosystems. Yeah, plant ecosystems, Bev, you're right. Not just the trees. It's all over. It is all over. It is. Hi, Climate Marcher. John. XR. Whoop, whoop. Well, I thought that this was pretty good. To introduce maybe some of you that don't know Mongabay, check it out because it's a great publication. It's nice to see all of you. What did Chris say? Somebody said spot on, so let's see if we can get that. Let's see. Okay. It looks like this one. Any money from will kill the planet. We need local and sustainable and lower population. Never happen, but don't stop fighting. No, of course not. Grow your own food, which is what we do, but not everybody can do that. I was thinking about this too today. I'm watching a show earlier, and on Ignoramus TV, and they're talking about solar panels and electric cars, and these people want to have solar panels on their homes and electric car hookups in their garage, but who are the people that want to have these? These are the people in the Bay Area, let's say in San Francisco, that have $2.2 million homes. It certainly isn't the people that live near my daughter in Buffalo, where they live, paycheck to paycheck. It certainly isn't those people, because those people can't afford it. So what is solar and electric? It's for people that have money. It's for people that look like me. Although my bank account is drained. But those are things I think about too. It all comes into one big mess. One big mess. Alex, it looks like you have an interesting comment. We have businesses selling vegetable boxes with no plastic packages, packaging. People are buying these thinking it's helping. However, if you research the companies, they are single sourcing and therefore appear to be encouraging monocrops. It's frustrating. People are uninformed and unwittingly buying into it. That's a huge problem. And those people that live in, in the cities, in the inner cities, who are just trying to put food on the table, they're not worrying about solar panels and plastic wrap. Unfortunately, this whole message of anything we do anywhere has to be universal. It can't just be a message for the status quo crowd that has a bank account. And we need to help people. We need to help them in the inner cities to be able to live for what comes next in the next decade. Is that happening? Is that happening in any country? Decline. You know who that was? Somebody from another channel who obviously isn't watching me live and is trying to call me. And it's not, oh, hi, Matt. Matt's with us from Facebook. Yeah, Matt, you should be happy now because now we can do this on both channels. I can do it on Facebook and on YouTube. It took me, 2 years? I finally learned how to do it. But not how to edit not how to edit. The software doesn't let you schedule a live stream to schedule it like you could just do on YouTube, and it doesn't let you write in everything that you want to write in, or I haven't learned it yet. So anyway, Chris, you said something, and thank you for saying I look nice. Let me tell you, it took me 2 hours, and I hadn't showered. I've been sick. Today I just made myself look nice to walk from my bedroom to my home office. And thank you, Heidi. She likes the new background. Well, you know what it is. It's palm oil plantations. And I try to find backgrounds that go with the topic, that I talk about. Michael says he hasn't heard a phone ring for years. It's my, that's what I heard for years, right? That's my ring. And I'm surprised. So, Matt said I made him happy. Good, see? So now we can do our State of the Planet. Jennifer and I can do Friday Night Live. As long as I'm feeling up to it. I'm having a hard time. It's getting to be where that time is. I can't sit very much longer. But it's really nice to have you all here on a Sunday, especially talking about this topic. Forests are literally dying in the Alps and subalps regions where I live, Rudy says. Freaky stormy weather every year and pests are killing them. I couldn't sky when walking in home. Oh, cry. Oh, you couldn't see sky. Oh, Rudy. Hi, Mindy. Oh, my. Mindy's here with us, our graphic artist extraordinaire. What does Pink say? He says the rate of growth in meat eating differs between regions. High-income countries show static or declining total meat demand compared to middle-income nations where there is a moderate to strong rise. And that's another whole thing. I'm going to do something. Somebody suggested an interview for me when when I'm up to it, like anything I can. I don't schedule anything because it's just, not what I can do. But bye, Chris. She's got to go shower. See you tomorrow night for her Monday Madness show. Yes, she's on YouTube tomorrow night for Monday Madness. But anyway, I'm going to do something on factory farming and vegetarianism and veganism, which is something I'm looking into. I'm not a humongous, but I was on the keto, and I need to find proteins that are not so meat-based. And, Forrest! Hi, Mindy, will you marry me, please? Well, that's because Mindy makes me happy. She makes everybody happy. Wait till you see some of the stuff. Oh, my God. I will be putting links into some of the things she's doing. She's an amazing talent. All right, guys. Well, it's been a half an hour, and I like to keep them down. And oh, Mary, you first. Oh, we got a love fest going on. I love it. We have a love fest going on. It's wonderful. You know what? You made me all happy, even though the topic is distressing. And Heidi, I'm glad you joined. She was here before, but I think she had to do something. The topic is distressing, and it makes you feel powerless sometimes. It makes me feel powerless just seeing the logging trucks go down my street. And it's got to be a way to change. And maybe forest, maybe hemp will be something we can use in our wood stoves. And, I already have a very good one with a carbon, it's got a catalytic converter and blah, blah, blah. But you can always try to get better. Like I always say, we ain't dead yet. We're still here. So why not, right? Why the hell not? Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Kent Deal was here with us, and he was saying hi to Torstein going south. And I don't have the Climate Crush graphic queued up. So, Climate Crush TV, your one-stop shop for all of these videos. And if you're exercising, all you have to do is put your earplugs in and listen to the videos without even changing a station. So it's pretty good. And the Pink Burial, he's got a wonderful channel. I highly recommend his work is phenomenal. Definitely check him out. His work is phenomenal. Oh, Heidi is listening. His work is phenomenal. Going south. Everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace. And I really do have a lot of love. Oh, till we meet again. I hope it's Friday night with Jennifer. Peace.